sometimes I look at the videos, I go, oh, take a deep breath, Kim, take a deep breath. The message is not my body. The message is the message.
Welcome to the Courage to Be Visible podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Stenberg. This is the podcast for heart-centered entrepreneurs who are done hiding in the shadows and ready to step into the spotlight. Today, I'm speaking with Kim McLaughlin. Kim is a psychotherapist, a coach, a best-selling author, a speaker, and a podcaster, and she helps people move from struggling with food and weight to feeling peaceful with food. Kim, thank you so much for joining us.
Andrea, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. We were talking in the beginning before we started the podcast that this is going to be a whole new direction for me in what I normally talk about. So I'm very, very excited.
Yeah. And I wanted to have you on because I think this is an issue for a lot of people, but I want to hear your thoughts about why is visibility such a challenge and so difficult for so many entrepreneurs?
And yes, I take a subsystem of people, and it's actually probably a lot more than we think. I work with people when they feel frustrated, overwhelmed, overloaded, and it shows up in overeating. And what happens with that is that then we feel uncomfortable in our body. And when I think about being visible, I thought, oh my gosh, my people talk all the time about feeling really uncomfortable and actually literally wanting to be invisible in their body, not be seen, not be noticed. And they do everything they can to not be seen. And that's a challenge. If you want to start a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a CEO, you have to be seen. If you want to go on a podcast or a YouTube channel, you have to want to be seen. And that can be so difficult for the people that I work with because they feel so bad about their body.
Yeah. And I've actually spoken to entrepreneurs, somebody who wanted to add speaking to her business. And she kept saying, when I lose 50 pounds, I'll do it. When I lose, and I got to confess, like that was me for a long time. It's like when I lose some weight, when I get rid of the gray hair, like that's going to happen. But anyway, so people, and I get that like feeling of wanting to be invisible because it feels safe, but it's not really, is it?
Well, it's not safe. And, if we backtrack it to when I lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 50 pounds, then I'll be ready. And what happens is years go by and we're never ready. Because when you lose the 10 pounds, there's like, oh, but there's 5 more, or it's got to look this way, or I've got to be more fit, or I've got to be more buff, or whatever the thing. And we're never there. I think about visibility with the people that I get to work with is how can you be comfortable with who you are right now? Because losing weight is an arbitrary way to get there. And I always tell people, like, you can't get there until you're here, until you're fully embodied is what we call it. Being literally embodied in your body and going, the way my body looks is okay. I too had struggled with you can't look at me from the side, or when I'm doing a video, I'm not in charge of all that. And I got to tell you, sometimes I look at the videos, I go, oh, take a deep breath, Kim, take a deep breath. The message is not my body. The message is the message. And I have a big, bold message about loving the skin you're in, loving yourself as you are, loving yourself with the body the size that it is now, because you can never get there until you're here, until you literally love your body, love yourself, love the way that you look, gray hair and all, right now. Because that is, I think the point about visibility is, how can I settle into what I look like today and be okay with myself? That's my message.
And it's also like it's not just about our bodies. Like that's kind of the obvious outer shell of who we
True.
are. But a
Yeah.
lot of times I think there, like we've heard people talk about imposter syndrome, but it's really about, I don't know enough. I'm not an expert enough. I don't have enough certifications. I have, like there's all the excuses as to why I don't have the right to stand up and share my message.
So I'm gonna say yes, and because what I think of is that you look at your body and how you are and be comfortable in your body. And if I said, Andrea, I'm gonna wave a magic wand today. You're gonna look in the body that you want, the hair that you want, the makeup that you want, and the clothing that you want. Would you be able to speak on stage? Would you be able to be visible? And I'm pretty confident that people that don't accept who they are would say, well, because I'd say, okay, magic wand, done. Let's schedule you tomorrow. And they'll go, but uh, 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 I don't have a message. I don't have the right equipment. I don't know what to say. And so there'll be that next thing and that next thing. And so it really becomes, I think it's that if my why is big enough, then I got to get over myself and go, the message is really important. And we've got to get through all of those layers of what's holding me back. The mindset, the body image, that's an easy one. I mean, who doesn't? Like everybody has something about their body. It's just how it is. If that's what's going to be what holds you back, I would challenge you to go, wait, let's go a little deeper. Because what happened was for me is once I started to go, I have a big, bold message about people loving their body, people loving who they are, people eating in a way that works for themselves, right? And I got a big, bold message. I got to get out there and say it. I don't have time. I don't have time to worry about like the body. And I literally each time I try, I mean, I thought today, what am I going to wear with Andrea? Like we're going to be on camera. What's it going to, I put on makeup and I did all the things so I could say, I put my best self forward. And so it's really moving into the, what is my message? Is it an important message? And I got to have fire under my booty to get that message out because people need to hear my message today, not a year from now after whatever is in place in my body or all around me. So I think it becomes the, what is your why and what is that message that you need to get out, that's helpful to people, and it just sparks you to go, and that's my reason I got to go and do this now.
So is that, to me, then, if somebody's listening to us and they're like, they want to be visible, but they've been holding back, is that the place to start? Is start with your why?
Well, I think so. That's what I found is when my why of I wanted to get out, I talk to people every day who are hating them, like literally hate themselves. They tell me this over and over again based on the food that they eat and the body size. Like and I go, well, then we have that conversation of who are you really? Right? Who are you really? And that to me is that inner fire of who you are. And that's the same thing with the message. What is my message? Because I got to tell you that when I go out and speak, I can go, okay, Kim, take a deep breath. You don't look the way you think you should, whatever. Take a deep breath. I have this message I have to share that's really important. And the more that come from is, what is my message? And your message doesn't have to be something big. It can be a VA. You have a VA service and you've got to get out and share the message that we want to help entrepreneurs be better, have more, a bigger team without having a lot of outgo. Like it can be anybody. It doesn't have to be those of us who go, speak for a living. Right? True. Like people hold themselves back from doing just speaking in terms of sales calls. Oh, I can't do that. Or I can't go to a networking event. They'll see me, right? So there are all the ways we hold ourselves back. And if you really stick with what is my message that I need to get out there, take a deep breath. To me, that is the biggest way that I know of to get moving, because when my message is big and important and I see people struggling, I'll go out there and I'll say, doesn't matter what my body looks like, I'm going to go out and do it. I'm going to go out, I'm going to be visible, right?
I really resonate with that, because I think when people talk about like visibility, like what I do about getting on camera, people get in their heads about what they look like and what they're going to say. But when you flip it around and it's like, who is going to hear the message and who needs to hear the message, then some of those other things don't matter as much. Like I think about, like, say, like when I was young, I was a lifeguard. And like if somebody was having a heart attack on the deck, and I know CPR, I'm going to run over and do CPR. I'm not going to worry, is my hair right? Is my makeup right? It's like, I'm trying to save somebody's
What
life.
do I look like in a bathing suit? You don't worry about that when somebody literally needs you to do CPR at the pool, right?
And let's face it, most of, like, as a video coach, I'm not literally saving somebody's life by teaching somebody how to be on video, but there are people who are struggling. And anybody I meet who's starting a business, they're doing it, they have a why. Like, because let's face it, being in business is hard. So have a why. Most people have one, and it's usually something personal. And so, yeah, that why can be the thing to move people forward.
Yeah, it is personal. And this is what made me think a lot more about, the things that you're talking about with visibility, is that it can start just with how you look, and like, let's find a way to release that, because if that's what's holding you back, get some help to move forward, because your message, the thing that you're providing is really important. And we got to get over those things, because if we keep waiting, tomorrow never comes.
Yeah. Well, and I think for, like if you're an entrepreneur and you've got to pay your mortgage, like you can't wait till tomorrow. We really got to start taking action. So what's the next step? So you've got your why, you've figured out your why, and you're hanging on to that for dear life, like it's a life raft in the middle of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step to getting over that fear of standing out and letting people see what you have to say and what you have to offer?
Yeah, I think, well, so as a profession, I am a licensed psychotherapist in the state of California. So I often will go back to what is, the thoughts and the feelings and the behavior. And so the behavior shows up in, I can't do that, right? I hold back. I can't. And I think we have to go beyond that and start checking in and going, how am I making myself so nervous, dysregulated, right? Where I'm vibrating in a way that's all anxiety, because that's not the come from place that I want to be when I'm doing a podcast or speaking in front of an audience or having a sales call or doing networking. I don't want to come from that anxiety. So I really think you developing a system for how you calm yourself down. How can I, and those are those emotions, those anxious emotions, which I get it. Public speaking is like worse than death, or it's like high up there in terms of the things that people don't want to do. We don't want to do it because it's so scary. So what can I do to calm myself down to be less fearful? So let's do that. I think it's very individual, and there are some universals. One is, what did I just say however many minutes ago? Take a deep breath. Not as shallow into your chest, but really deep into your belly, and breathe it out. Really taking that deep breath calms your nervous system. It's physiological. What happens when we're nervous? We tighten up and we don't breathe. It's so simple, so profound, and people are going to go, Kim, that's wackadoodle. And I'm here to tell you, really practice that. Take a deep breath, calm yourself down. It's one of the easiest things we can do. Another thing is shake it out. I do that before I talk, or before I shake it out. I have I have another speaking engagement later on today, and like I was thinking like, "Oh, I have some time beforehand to go, take a little walk," because that anxiety energy is energy. How can you get that out is by doing a little bit of physical activity. Shaking your arms. Those of you that are on podcast can't see I'm shaking my arms and um walking, getting somewhere. So what? Walk outside, shake your arms, take a deep breath. My gosh, you've got three things all at once, right? Walking, moving your hands, and taking a deep breath. So you're really engaging lots of ways that we know will have an impact. Absolutely. And the other things that I always recommend are journaling, are positive affirmations, listening to people that are talking in a positive way about themselves and really um, have gone through the fire and are on the other side, and they go, and you can do it too, right? They hold, I call it like the high watch. They hold the high watch for you. So those are things that I think are really easy, and you literally can do them right today. I listen to podcasts when I drive. I listen to podcasts, and I listen to uplifting podcasts. I listen to podcasts that shore me up so that I can move forward. So do you see, it's like it's really looking at what's going on with the anxiety and how can I calm it down in my mind, in my body, in my emotions. And if we hit it on all of those areas, I promise you're going to feel a lot better, and you're going to be able to be more visible and just go, hi, I'm Kim McLaughlin. It's good to meet you, right? You put your hand out and those of you can't see me, right? And you say hello, and you just kind of can move it through. I find that once I get out there, I'm good to go. It's just getting me there, right? Starting it. Once I'm there, I'm on a roll. I can do it. And I have plenty to say because I have a good why. So those are the things I would recommend for people to start doing. And literally you can do them once you're done listening to this podcast.
All right. Now, what is your thoughts about, like there's a whole book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think that's just what I was saying, but it's say, feel your fear, work on your fear, and do it anyway. I don't think, because I see people that go that are really, really nervous. And I think that ends up is an experience that doesn't feel very valuable. If I can go into an event because I've done all these things, I have walked, I've shaken, got the shakes out, I take a deep breath, I feel motivated, I have a good why. That to me is that you felt the fear, you're doing the things to work the fear through and do it. I think that misses a step.
Right.
So that would be what I would say is you've got to do the step of actually doing something, because it doesn't feel good to just be totally in fear. Like I got to find a way to kind of compartmentalize and go, my fear side is not going to show. I've let that fear side go outside. When I took a deep breath, I'm embracing my CEO mindset, right? I'm going to embrace my CEO mindset, and I have a message to share. I have something that's very valuable, because when I come in and go, I have something valuable. I am a good CEO. I have something these people need to hear about. I can then do it, right? So I kind of release the fear is the middle portion of that statement, I think.
Yeah. And I think the other thing though is, and like I'm a video coach, but I do know that like some people, video isn't the place for them. I think I told you this story. I used to teach at our community college. And every semester, when I told people that they'd have to give a speech at the end of the class, I'd have one student come to me literally in tears saying, I can't do it. And I think, okay, if you're going to cry because you're going to try to be on video, then maybe you need to do some other things first.
Yes.
Is that, because
I agree with that. You've gotta find a way to do it. It's funny. I think I told you on a different day is my daughter in school since kindergarten, they have been having the students in our school district at least do public speaking in the class.
That's amazing.
She can get up in front, 16 years old, she can get up in front of the class and do a presentation in Spanish. She can do one in English. She has a PowerPoint. She knows how to do all that. So I actually think that my school districts in our area are really doing a good job by kids, because it's really something you can train out of people as long as they know how to do it and they know what to get up and say. And just have an audience. I think it's very doable. I think it's important what you said about find a way to work it out, because an interview is a speaking engagement. A dinner party is a speaking engagement. A funeral is a wedding. I mean, those are all speaking engagements. It might be a small thing, but it's important to feel like you can present yourself and not keep hiding the I can't do that. So I would say the other part is get a coach, get somebody that can help you with how do I get up and present, or come to somebody like me, with on the emotions and things. But it's figuring out what's holding you back, and you've got to learn how to do it. It's super, super important for just being well-rounded. And if you're a CEO of your own business, you got to get out and speak to people. Sales call is a speaking engagement.
Yeah, and I love what you said about getting help. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be just about visibility and speaking. A number of years ago, I did a whole bunch of interviews with entrepreneurs about, what made them successful. And literally the only commonality between all of them was all of them worked with a coach. And for different reasons, for different whys, but nobody knows how to do it all. So getting somebody to help you with whatever that thing is that you want to do that you don't know how to do yet is the shortcut. So I love that. Love that. So
Yes.
before we head off, so say I've done the breathing, I've done the shaking, I've done the walking, I'm still struggling. Where can they find out more about you, Kim?
They can find out more about me on my website, Feed Your Soul Unlimited. I do coaching around eating, around body image, around just feeling good with yourself, because life's too short to not feel good about yourself and your body. So Feed Your Soul Unlimited. And we'll do a special giveaway. I have Am I an Emotional Eater? Because if you really resonate with I'm holding myself back because of how my body looks, it's time to see whether it's about emotional eating, because there's lots of things we can do to help you around that, around physical, mindset, emotions, all the things. So feedyoursoulunlimited.com, and you can get Am I an Emotional Eater PDF from that to determine is that something for you, because that doesn't need to be the reason to hold you back.
I love that. And I think, yeah, don't let that be the reason that holds you back. Let nothing hold you back. I want people to unleash everybody on the world. So Kim, thank you for joining us today. I really like this conversation. I think this is a big piece of the courage to be visible, is being comfortable in your skin. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks for listening to Courage to be Visible. I hope today's conversation sparked ideas for your own visibility. If it helped, please share this episode with a friend. Follow the show and leave a quick rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It really helps. For links, show notes, and free resources to grow your visibility, head over to the show notes or visit my website. See you next time.